Hi, this is Matt Yetter with Sherlock Home Inspections. Phone number is 971-212-7481. Website address is yourinspectionneeds.com. Today's date is Friday, May 12th, 2023. The address we're inspecting today is 175 Southwest 142nd Avenue, Beaverton, Oregon, 97006. We are about to perform a video inspection of the property's main sewer line through the front yard exterior cleanout. The equipment being used today is the Rigid Sea Snake. This is one of the best sewer cameras on the market today. Before we begin this video inspection, it is to be noted that some age sewer pipes made out of clay, concrete, cast iron, asbestos, and Orangeburg may be in good working order and may never have had a clogged or sewer backup before. However, due to real estate transactions, attorneys, and lawsuits, Sherlock Home Inspections must recommend the following to meet the current codes. All sewer pipes should be watertight, minted to cast iron ABS 3034 or HDPE pipe with all appropriate fittings and couplers. All sewer pipes should be free from breaks, offsets, separations, tree roots, bellies, and party sewers. Sherlock Home Inspections recommends replacing any sewer pipe that does not meet these specifications. Here we go. So we wanted to contrast a couple of things just right from the get-go to start. So we are currently running water from the kitchen sink, which is a bigger faucet. It's going to be bigger than the bathroom faucet that we're going to show you here in just a second. And we have a good amount of flow burning through the kitchen sink. It's actually wide open. It's opened all the way up. And we're running as much kitchen sink water down the sewer piping as we can. And you can see there is just a trickle coming through. So the concern will be, where are we losing all of the kitchen sink wastewater? Yeah, it's a slab foundation. You can't see it. There's no crawl space or anything like that. So the concern will be that there's it's older galvanized piping, and the galvanized piping has formed some holes and possibly leaking or losing some of the drain wastewater underneath the slab, somewhere in between the kitchen and the front of the house here. So what I'm going to do now, after we see this, I'm going to pause the video, I'm going to turn off the water from the kitchen sink, and I'm going to contrast it with what you see from the smaller bathroom sink, and you'll see that we do have quite a bit more water flow from the bathroom sink, even though it's a much smaller fixture and would naturally have a lot less flow. So we're gonna pause video for a second. We're going to turn on the bathroom sink, turn off the kitchen sink, and then contrast. Okay, well, here is so the kitchen sink water has been turned off and it's all been drained out of there. Here is the bathroom sink water, and again, this is full blast. This is as much cold water as we can get out of the bathroom sink, and this is pretty weak too. So obviously my concern is we're just not seeing anything coming through the drain pipe, and these guys, the sinks especially, would be in 1961 galvanized piping under the slab. We flushed the toilet and we saw a good amount of water come through there, and so that's great. It looks like the cast iron portions of the 1961 piping under the slab look like they're hanging on. But as you can see, with full blast water, and we do this every day, so with full blast water coming through, we should have a lot better water flow than that. There's just nothing. And so we did this both with the kitchen sink. Now that's off, but this is with the bathroom sink full blast, and there's just no flow at all. So my concern would be in the galvanized piping, the galvanized drain waste or sewer piping under the slab, that there could be some failed areas where it is just not intact, and the concern would be losing sewer water under the slab. So before closing, we'd recommend passing the video and the report on to a leak detection company, just to come out and to scan the galvanized piping and see if there's any leaks underneath the slab. Those companies are usually pretty effective at finding anything, if there's anything going on under the slab. Like I said, if we were to flush the toilet, you'd see the galvanized piping, water would come burning through here like you'd expect. And so it makes me think the galvanized piping is for the most part hanging on. But again, there's nothing coming out. So anytime you run any water through a piping in the house that would be a galvanized pipe, we're not seeing any water come through. So my concern would be with the kitchen sink, the bathroom sink, the bathroom tub, and the and the laundry room sink. So any of the galvanized pipings to those 4 fixtures, we would recommend having a leak detection company come in and do some scanning of the slab to make sure that there's no loss of sewer water under the slab. Because if it's not losing it, I don't know where it's going, because there's nothing coming in the pipe. And again, we do this every single day, so there will be a lot more flow, or some flow at least, coming through here. It looks like good news through the front yard though. So the sewer piping has already needed to be replaced to the front yard, so it looks like we get some good news through the front yard. Has been nicely improved or updated with modern ABS plastic piping. So this is good, but look, I mean, there is just no water coming from the amount of full blast that we're sending out of the bathroom sink faucet. There must be an issue. We're not seeing any of that water. Just a trickle. And really the galvanized is the piping that always wears out first anyway. And so 1961 means that we're 40, 50, 60 something year old galvanized piping, where the average life expectancy on galvanized pipe is about 35 years. There's 9. We're going to transition to concrete piping there. There is some marginal piping right before the lateral, and then we reach the lateral at about 57 feet. So this would be the end officially of buyer-owner responsibility, about 57 feet away from the house. Normally we would turn off all of the water and drain everything out, but in this case, since we didn't have any water running the whole time, we're actually going to run another test. We're going to turn off all the water except for the bathtub running full blast cold water, and we're going to see how much flow we have with the bathtub. So I'm going to pause video again. Okay, we're going to start the video again. We turned off all of the water except for we have the tub going. Full blast cold water on the tub. We did just flush the toilet, so you'll see the residual of some of that stuff. But we see a pretty good water flow now with the tub on. So this is kind of what you would expect, especially from like the kitchen sink. You know, maybe not quite this much coming out of the kitchen sink, but you should see a good amount of water flow coming through the pipes. This is the tub, so the tub will have the most amount of water flow, and then second would be the kitchen sink. And so you can see kind of, this is actually a good contrast. You can see nothing coming out of the kitchen sink, nothing coming out of the bathroom sink, and then you have this amount of water flow in the with the tub, so you can see a good amount of flow. So again, I think the recommendation stands. I would say that, you know, it's good news that the sewer pipe from the front of the house to the roadway has been improved or updated with modern plastic piping. So that's a win. That's a victory. But the concern would be that we're losing water from the the drain piping under the kitchen sink, the bathroom sink, and then also possibly other areas. But we would recommend passing the video and the report on to a leak detection company to identify if there is indeed any leaking of the drain waste piping under the slab. It's a slab foundation. There's no crawl space. And then, of course, repairing all of that or replacing all of that. It is 1961 galvanized piping in those areas. Also scanning for the laundry room. The washing machine would be a galvanized piping. And then there is galvanized piping coming from the tub, but as you can see, we're getting a good amount of flow. I mean, look at the flow difference that we're getting. So this is kind of what we would expect running water through the sewer pipe. But I would recommend having them scan for all possible drain waste piping. Any plumbing concerns under the slab are going to be noteworthy and something that we want to take care of pretty quick. And there, again, you can see the amount of flow that we're getting here is just night and day difference compared to the nothing that we're getting from kitchen sink and bathroom sink. Here's the galvanized piping. So the sewer pipe needs some attention and may have some issues. Sewer piping from the clean out forward to the street overall looks to be in pretty good condition.